Greetings, everyone. Happy Sunday. I am the Moon Mama, and today we are doing the work of our master nodal class. The nodes are moving through, the South Node is moving through Virgo, and the North Node is moving through Pisces. And this is where the eclipses will happen for the next 18 months. Our next eclipse happens, I believe our next eclipse is on March 14th. So we are coming, the volume is low. She said the volume is low. Let's see. The volume is low. Is the volume low for anybody else? The volume is low. Okay, let's see what that's about. Can you hear me? Is that better? Thank you. You can hear great. Perfect. Thank you so much. So whoever's volume is not working, turn your own volume up, please. Thank you. I don't think it's me. So today is the day that is Sunday. Thank you so much. This is Chrysocolla. It's Chrysocolla, and I love Chrysocolla. It's a monk energy, meaning like to help us connect to the higher realms. Okay, great. So today the moon is in Aries and the sun is in Aquarius. This is a pretty intense energy that is giving us the power to be authentic, to be our authentic selves. And with the moon in Aries, what's important about Aries and Aquarius energy is Aquarius is the future, and Aries is the self. It's your identity. It's your identity. It's who you say you are. Aries rules the head, the face. The color for Aries is red, so I got my red candle. We're gonna burn the candle, giving thanks for the power to begin again, to create, to be a pioneer. That's what Aries is about. And so this is very significant energy in this cycle because the sun is in Aquarius and we're getting this jump start at accessing our authentic self, our authentic ways of being. And that means different things for each of us, right? For me personally, it's a do I have the courage to be myself when who I am is not approved of by others, when who I am is not in alignment with what others feel or think is the best way for me to function? Do I have the courage to be true to myself on my own terms? Many of us as women, we really need that because I know for me, womanhood in my own perspective has meant that I'm subject to men, I'm subject to Jesus, I'm subject to all these these external forces that are not in alignment with who I say I am, right? Like there's what the world says, and then there's who I say I am. And it's one thing to, my experience, this is dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is for purification and it's for power. Um, so Aries rules, I want to finish what I was saying, but I want to talk about Aries in a little more. So Aries rules the head. Aries rules the head and the head and the face. So because this is about embodiment, we want to honor the body with each of these moon transits. We want to bring our attention to the parts of the body that the moon is actually transiting through. So the moon is in Aries right now, moving through the head. And so literally, these are like little teak combs, and I use them to stimulate my scalp. And as I'm doing it, I'm just giving thanks. Thank you that my mind is right, that my thoughts are my own. Thank you that my blood is circulating well. Thank you that I have the courage. Aries is about courage. Thank you that I have the courage to be true to myself, to honor how I feel. And I might do this for 15 or 20 minutes, just honoring that Aries energy in the sky that's also happening in my experience. So another thing about Aries is the face, right? And as a woman, I actually, like, I've never been a woman who's very much focused in how I look. When I was young, I had a mother who was light skinned with my mother's mother was half white. So there was like colorism going on in my family. And I really felt like a dark skinned person. Like now that I'm an adult and I have a clear picture of who I really am, I see that I'm brown skinned. But when I was young, I felt like I was dark and I felt ugly because of that. I also have Chiron in Aries, which is a placement that will make a person feel like they're ugly. So I often felt ugly as a young person. And because I was comparing myself to girls who were light skinned with curly hair, who my mother resembled more. So, one of the things that I do just to be in my own system with my body and my face is I just look in the mirror and I will like literally look in my eyes and look at all the parts of my face and honor like that I'm beautiful and that my skin is beautiful and that I feel good and that even as I am in this process of maturing and aging, I feel better than I've ever freaking felt. Like it's an amazing thing to let go of the notion that standards of beauty that were handed down to me are no longer relevant in my life. And so that is very much an Aries thing, like really coming into full acceptance of who you are, how you appear in the world and honoring that. And so sometimes I do exercises to um to move the lymph through my system and by doing things like this, pulling my ears, because Aries, this is all the head is Aries, massaging the head. And the mantra for Aries is I am. So it's I am beautiful, I am magical, I am powerful, I am loved, I am enough, I am sourced, I am a source of magic, I am a source of love, I am a source of power. I have everything I need. I have all that I need to live the life that I'm born to live. I have all that I need to serve in the way that I'm meant to serve. Actually honoring the power of Aries in me with words, with touch, with focus, with intention, because that will ignite the power of this energy that this moon is in our own bodies, in our own lives, in our own systems. So I'm going to have a seat for a minute. So this energy is the South Node is in Virgo, and I feel very emotional today because my son is turning 18 tomorrow, and this has been the most intense experience of my life. Being a mother has been really, really, really intense. And that at some point that included being a wife. And what I discovered immediately was that I was doing something that wasn't true to me, that I was taking on ways of being that truly weren't aligned with who I am and how I'm meant to move through the world. And I had to make some really tough choices to uh, to prioritize myself so that I could live. I chose to prioritize myself so that I could be here because I was going to expire. I was starting to having all sort of health challenges and breast cancer scares and all that kind of stuff because I was not living my truth. I was not living my truth. And so much of that had to do with what other people thought of me. what other people felt about me. And it took everything in me to stop focusing on what the world said I should be and go inside and discover for myself what I should be. And that has meant allowing everyone in my life who was close to me, who I had, commitments with, to do what they needed to do, to do what they need. Because I was like, I'm gonna go do what I need to do. So I can't hold you in place because I'm not gonna be here, because I'm gonna go do what I'm gonna do. And it has been a really intense journey of coming back to who I really am. Learning that I could trust myself, learning that the choices that I made for me were good for me, but they weren't good for others, and that was okay. And so today, we're celebrating my son's birthday. He's turning 18 tomorrow. And for the last decade, he has lived with his father pretty much exclusively. And I have really removed myself in many ways from that experience of parenting and all of that, so that I could recover who I really am, so that I could be here and really be here. You know what I mean? So that I wasn't here just trying to make it and struggling, so that I could really be who I'm meant to be. And my life is the life of a mystic. My life is the life of a goddess. My life is the life of someone who lives by the energies and the currents of time and codes of the astrology. I'm not here to move through the world in the way that other people do. And when I was doing that, I was dying. I was literally dying. And it was finding, having a child and having my child love me unconditionally was the most healing thing. The child that I gave birth to is a remarkable soul, like an ancient soul, and has just given me a purpose. When they came, I was so clear that I had to do my best to change myself so that I could create a world that was actually safe for me and people like my child. And I have done that. I have done that. I have created safe spaces. I have created places where people understand that magic is real. I have created community. I have created opportunities for people to become themselves. And I made the best choice. I made the best choice for me. And it was a hard choice to make. And there are people in my life who disagree with the choice that I've made. And that has been hard. That has been hard. But I know that I made the right choice. So I want to encourage you guys with this Aries energy to really find spaces to listen to yourself. Find spaces within yourself to hear what's really going on within you, so that you can meet your needs. Because had I stayed and done what was expected of me, I would not be here. Because no one knows what you need in order to thrive but you. And that is the power of Aries moon and the Aquarius sun. Do you have the courage to reach for your future self? Do you have the courage to reach for your future self in the face of people clamoring and begging for your attention and shaming you and your own guilt? Do you have the courage to reach for yourself and go beyond what is already here into something that doesn't exist yet in the physical plane, but because of your willingness to see it, it will be made manifest, just because you had the courage to say, I know it's possible. And if that means I have to be different, just because, and that is how this works. That is how this works. People don't understand until you're in the hospital sick and no longer on the earth. Then they're all sorry and understand. That's right. That's right. That's right. So meeting your own needs is more critical now than ever. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I feel really grateful. I feel really grateful. This has been a tremendous journey. My son is 18. I've been on this journey. This is the thing about my son that's so interesting. Before I was pregnant, I knew that there was some place for me to be and go. I didn't know how to get there though. I literally was like feeling, but I couldn't understand what it was. I didn't know. And when my son was born and he was diagnosed with trisomy 21, which they call Down syndrome, his Saturn is conjunct my Mars and Leo. And it literally forced me to sit down. It forced me to pay attention. It forced me to ask deeper questions. It forced me to look at where I was holding that I had a disability. Like, for me to produce someone who was born with a disability mean that I had to be holding in my own self that I had a disability. And the thing that made me feel like I was disabled was that I was Black. I felt like being Black was a disability. And in 18 years, now all the work I've done, I know that being Black is a superpower, but I didn't know that then. And it took that experience for me to go deep into my own subconscious to discover the magic and the gifts of my own unique expression, to understand that I'm filled with magic and power. So is my son, and so is everyone else. And I actually know how to support people in getting to it. I know how to access it. I didn't know how to do this before my son. I didn't know. So I'm deeply appreciative of those of you who are here supporting the work that I do, those of you who show up every day or listen. So those of you who leave comments, those of you who book readings, all because you support me in doing this. And I am deeply, deeply grateful for it. Deeply grateful. So please send your prayers for my son today, Zion, that's his name. Zion Lamorne James, for my family. His father's Lee James Gossett, and I'm his mother, and his father has a new wife, and her name is Michelle. So just pray for us all. Lala, Cynthia, our family we're really growing and transitioning in new ways. And I'm deeply honored to have been a catalyst for a new world that's being born. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. Use this energy today to get clear about how you can take care of yourself in better, more productive ways. All righty.